5, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Summer of AI. I'm Nick Eales, Head of Product for Aforza.
And I'm Callum FitzPatrick, Solution Consultant at Aforza. And we've got 5 industry showcases coming this week using Aforza's native AI engine and large language models, showing you how you can use AI with Aforza. So watch this space.
Right, I'm gonna let you steal the show now. Dive deep into the details of the different capabilities, the different demos, the solutions that you've been putting forward for this Summer of AI. But the very first one I want to talk to you about is the ability to predict an entire order. What can you tell us about that?
So I think, I've obviously had a tremendous amount of fun this summer working on, the Summer of AI highlights. And there are, just getting into it, there are hundreds of use cases that exist that haven't created yet. But there's been some really, really cool stuff that's come back from just this activity. The first one, which is probably a little closer to our hearts, is because it's our data, it's our engine, and that's predicting an entire order. And in that sense, that's where we're looking at, if in the context of a telesales agent, when they are calling one of their key accounts, then using a Aforza Assistant and our own native AI to calculate what the predicted order could be for this customer and leveraging that and putting it into the cart that they could then edit, has massive time savings, massive efficiency gains, and it's incredibly accurate as well. It's looking at what other customers are ordering that are similar to this particular type of customer. As a telesales agent, it just makes their life super easy. And obviously, you've built that from scratch with the team. So is there anything you'd like to add on that?
Well, the first thing is just that I can't take all the credit for this. Obviously, the engineering team that built this is absolutely fantastic. But just to reiterate what you said, our customers are able to predict an entire order from scratch with extremely accurate results and have that in their system like that, right?
It's awesome. When you put it like that, it's incredible. And it gets better and better. It gets more accurate as you're placing more orders, as more customers are placing more orders within Aforza. And actually, doing some exploration further, when you can predict an order for a customer, you could then use that same model to look at, in the context of van sales, let's say you're visiting 20 customers a day, of predicting an order before the van has already left your distribution center, predicting an order for each of those customers to predict what the van load should be. So there's less carbon footprint, there's less products being taken out. Just that single model of predicting an order can be used in so many different ways, which is why I said there's a lot of different use cases just from our native AI that we have within the platform.
Wow. So we've often talked about omni-channel before. We've talked about how you can use telesales to place orders, how you can have your field teams out there placing orders, how you can be the retailers logging to the commerce channel to place orders, and it's stuff that Aforza does and we're fantastic at. But we're really now moving the conversation from why even use channels, right? If your AI can predict orders and just place those to the customer, push those to the customer and say, hey, would you like to accept this order, yes or no? You've gone away from what channel do I work in to do we even need these channels? Right? The business could be completely automated. And maybe that's not where we are today, but that's absolutely somewhere that you're going to be getting to in the next few years. The other really one I personally like about this use case is a lot of people don't realize that Aforza has been doing AI for years and years. Right? We've had it as a pervasive part of our applications from day one. In fact, predicting an order was one of our first features that we put out there. And it's great to just double down and reiterate on some of these capabilities that our customers might not be aware of, and our prospects could take advantage of as well. So really pleased with this first use case. Thank you for taking the time to build that out and share it.
It's an important one.
Absolutely, it's an important one. All right. In the interest of time, let's move on to use case number 2.
Yeah.
So this one was really cool. It's something you spent a lot of time on, and I really, really liked it. So this is about perfect store intelligence and improving the visit execution experience.
Exactly.
What does that mean?
So this is for, it might seem like the most simple when you watch it. It's going to be coming out this week for a field rep. But if you think from their perspective, they've got, when they're using Aforza, a whole wealth of information at their fingertips. Previous orders, visits, notes, what products are in their store, what merchandise is there, what competitors are there.
It can be confusing, right?
Yeah, yeah. So they've got that information there, and you can find that very easily. The app looks beautiful as well, and it's really easy to navigate through. But we used generative AI. In this case, we actually used ChatGPT, and we pulled that data in the context of the account so that when a rep comes into the store, they say, what should I be doing at this visit right now? Tell me exactly what I should do. And what we've done is we've built that perfect prompt that pulls the data and says, for example, you've got these products here. This is what similar customers are ordering. That data that exists within Aforza, and condensing that down into kind of 3 short bullet points of you should be positioning this product because similar customers are buying it. You should check the merchandise because the customer requested it. So pulling that data and just making that all available on the application for a field rep, I think is really freaking cool. It's
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's almost like a personal assistant is there telling you exactly what you need to do during that visit, right?
It's conversational as well. That's what's so amazing about these large language models, is that you feel like you're talking to a human on the other side of the screen who's telling you what you should do, and also explaining why you should do it. That's the key point. By just saying do this, this, and this, perhaps there's that element of trust. But when it's telling you to, when a Forza Assist is telling you to do this because similar customers are XYZ, for example, like buying similar products, that's incredibly powerful from a human perspective. You feel like you're talking to another human being.
Absolutely. That is such a useful use case in this industry. As you know, and as many of the listeners will know, when you're doing van sales or you're doing merchandising, a lot of the employees that you've got working for you, they might be seasonal workers. There might be a high attrition rate or a high turnover rate. So making sure that they are trained up and they're able to execute efficiently and effectively very quickly is a huge problem, right? And being able to, just put them into a store situation, a visit situation, and tell them precisely what they need to do, no matter which customer they're going to, no matter what their role is, that's a huge value add and a huge cost saving as well.
Massively. It's like having a sales leader on your shoulder. A very experienced sales leader just got all the information, knows all the ins and outs.
It's a scary thought.
Yeah, right there telling you what to do, or at least, you don't have to action those, but it gives you that prompt, so you've got that in your mind as a field rep.
I know that, if I was, and I've done loads of rep runs, right? So if I was to go out and I'd have this wealth of information in front of me and I was like, hey, what do I do? This is great, but what do I do? Just having that single sentence, that single paragraph saying, here are the things you need to focus on today. That would just be so useful. It's going to make me more efficient. I'm just going to be able to get my job done quicker, and I'm going to be on brand and on message, right? I'm going to be collecting the right information. I'm going to be talking about the right things. I'm going to be detailing the right products. That is just so cool and so useful. So I'm really excited to see how people react to that one. And I think that's a great use case for ChatGPT and using the data of our customers to enhance that conversational experience. Right. Number 3, these are all cool. I don't know why I keep saying this one's cool, and they're all amazing. But number 3, again, so we're moving away from retail execution into more of the trade promotion management side of things, right? Yeah. So number 3 is about launching a new promotion. What can AI do to help us there?
So I think there's actually some similarities between the previous one, being a field rep, in that being a promotion planner, often you have access to all sorts of information: sell in, sell out, baselines, ROI from previous years. And when you're deciding on the next promotions, it could be on a weekly basis, monthly, quarterly, yearly. It changes across all of consumer goods. But when you've got that information at your fingertips, or in your system, such as Aforza, then when you're planning a new promotion, sometimes it can be a challenge to make sense of that and apply your own learnings when you're building these promotions. Now, in this use case, I think it's really cool. It's again using large language models to say, with the right prompt, it's pulling the products that you've got in your catalog that perhaps aren't performing as well. So it's pulling through things like sales data, looking at your customers that are buying, the segment which certain promotions and products perform well in, and taking that vast amount of information, condensing it into, again, in this case, we did 3 prompts, could be 5, could be 10, to say, look, these are my targets. I want to achieve a certain amount of margin I don't want to go below a certain cost on a product. I also want to present this product because it's brand new, and who should I be targeting it against with all of this information in mind, and taking those prompts, getting that perfect, which can be different for all of our customers. They've got different targets, they've got different targets for specific products as well. Some is like literally protecting market share, others is growing revenue, reducing costs. And this prompt basically gets a promotion planner information immediately to say, you should be discounting this product because of this, and you should be discounting it at this rate because of your margin targets. And then as a field planner, using Aforza's Trade Promotion Designer, which if you haven't seen it yet, you need to definitely watch this video. Easily dragging and dropping products, discounts, and really quickly targeting it to the right segment, so it's available, as you said, that omni-channel experience available to your field reps or for telesales users or through your commerce platform. So similar to the field rep, but in a completely different use case, and it's just leveraging the power of AI there.
I think this one's so incredibly important because there's so much trade spend that's just lost, right? It's just ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is because the promotion planners don't know where to run the promotions. They don't know what products to promote. They don't know what margins they should be kind of trying to achieve. It can get so confusing. There's a wealth of information, and so often what you'll see is just, hey, let's just do a copy and paste from last year's promotions.
Yeah.
Let's just run them again.
I see that a lot.
And that's just never going to work, right? What was happening in 2022 is going to be completely different from 2023.
Yeah.
Right? And being able to use AI to look at the previous information that you've got in the system, look at your products, look what's performing, what's not performing, look what's going on, seasonal trends, right, with different customers buying different things, and then be able to effectively say, these are the products you need to promote, and here are the tactics you should apply. That's just, it's kind of mind-blowing in terms of the efficiencies you're going to save and the how effective your promotions could be going forward.
And I think this is just one example. I tried to pick the ones that I think are most relevant to the challenges and pains in the consumer goods industry that we're seeing today.
Yeah.
But there are also things, there's so many use cases here of, give me a cadence that I should use to position this luxury product for this customer over 4 visits. How can I, sell bit by bit? And how can I push out competitors? Give me strategies for this segment. There's so many use cases. I can't even iterate that enough.
I know we had to really whittle it down to get to these 5, right? And I think that's part of the whole Aforza AI advantage is we provide a platform that you can easily build these use cases into. Mm-hmm. And we provide a way to easily connect to other, models like ChatGPT. But let's say next month something brand new comes out, which probably will happen, and it turns out it's a much better model or it's much better suited for consumer goods. Our solution will be able to plug and play with that as well. So I think really the sky is the limit and your imagination is the limit, and that's what we're trying to do is kind of hone in on the use cases that are super important and really effective for our customers. So launching a new promotion is absolutely up there with what's top of mind. Protecting margins, getting the products in the right place at the right time, making sure the competitors are kind of beaten out of the store. That's what it's about. This next one I think is it's kind of similar to the first one. It's a bit the same, but again, this is something that's top of mind for a lot of our customers is how do I move away from field sales into more of a kind of commerce-centric experience, and what can we do in that area that AI could enhance? So that's, I think, what the train of thought we were going down with this one, right?
Yeah, exactly. So in this sense, we're looking more at the customer of the Aforza customers that we work with.
The retailers, right?
The retailers, right? Distributors, perhaps.
Yeah.
And for them, they care about margin and efficiency. They potentially don't have time to speak to a field rep and go through an order process, for example. But by getting perhaps a notification saying, hey, log into our portal, is this order looking good for you this week? And being able to go into the portal and have an entire predicted order, which they can really easily validate. They can change with a beautiful Aforza B2B layout, and really easily to navigate and see the latest promotions for them. But by using that native AI model that we've built in Aforza, you can get that perfect order. And again, it improves over time as more orders are captured for yourself as that retailer, but also for other customers that are classified similar to you, like let's say a small supermarket, a corner store. They're all ordering specific types of products in this region with these characteristics. So we're suggesting this product to you because it's performing well. You know, having all of these products positioned that perhaps the retailer might not have bought in the past because it hasn't been positioned correctly by a field rep is a massive opportunity for, I think, for a lot of our customers, for a lot of anyone who's not on the channel of that B2B commerce, is that we have an out-of-the-box, ready-to-go commerce channel that can just be switched on with native AI to predict an entire order for the customers. It's
Amazing.
It's awesome.
And I don't want to give spoilers, but I think in November timeframe, we're going to be doing a bit of a sneak peek of some of those commerce capabilities. So watch the space for that one as well. But just to, again, reiterate what you said, you know, if I'm a retailer and I come in and I can see, you know, traditionally, if you're looking at commerce, they'll look at their previous orders. They'll say, I just want to order the same thing as last week. It works okay. But if I could have real-time suggestions of, well, you bought product A and B, but all of your competitive retail stores in the area are also selling product C, you're going to want to know that because you're going to make sure that that's on the shelves and that you become the retailer of choice, right? So the AI is not really, it's not just for an upsell for the consumer goods companies, the manufacturers, but it's also an ability for those retailers, those distributors to make sure they've got the right stock at the right time and they are going to be competitive with their competition that's out there. So again, this was kind of looking at predicting an order, like similar to use case one, but I think the nuance of this one for the retailers is super important, and something about that, with the collaborative nature of working with your customers, I think is really, really critical.
And when it adapts automatically to the actual end consumer demand, that's when it gets really cool, really clever. You know,
amazing.
As making sure essentially is removing the possibilities of out of stocks in certain stores, because the products that are being ordered are always going to be there available, and you know, and it changes and evolves over time. So
can you imagine how easy your life would be if all you had to do is log into a portal, click predict my order, and it gives me the exact right amount of stock. So I'm not overbuying, I'm not underbuying. Gives me all of that, deliver it to my door, and it's the perfect amount for the customer demand. Like, you know, more ice creams are coming to me because it's summertime, or there's more alcoholic beverages coming to me because the football's on or the World Cup's on or something, right? And it just automatically tells you what to do.
it's cool.
Very cool. All right. Last but not least, this one was I thought was quite a unique use case, and I think it's something that it's something we're trying out. I think it's quite powerful, but again, it's radically different from the other ones because we wanted to do something a bit more unique and just to show the variation you can use with AI. But tell me about this one. This is all about rep voice and workflows.
Yeah. So I think we had a lot of fun with this one. The thinking was, how can I, just by talking, create actions that I can go and execute upon in the future based on what I'm seeing in the store. So the use case here is, again, a field rep is coming and visiting, let's say, a supermarket or a bar or a cafe or a restaurant, and upon arrival can simply record a voice note through the Aforza application and capture what they're seeing with their voice, saying, you know, I'm seeing our branded merchandise here is not compliant, for example. There's competitors on display and it's not clean. So I've got a very busy day today. This is me recording right now. I've got a very busy day today. Let's schedule a visit for tomorrow as soon as possible. End that recording. And now you've got that audio file, which can be passed through AI to essentially give you that voice note into prompts, which are then added to the next visit as, this is what was here, bullet points, for example, for the next visit, but also then triggering from those points that you've added the next best action. So in this case, it would be, the merchandise is not compliant. So what I want to do is create a new visit for tomorrow. This is the AI creating that visit, as well as making sure that the task you're doing is a merchandise check to check that it is compliant. And again, this one had so many different results from what we said and what we recorded, but we found that I think that the best option today is the best thing to show today was this merchandise compliance, and just walking into a store, recording for 20 seconds, leaving, and you've got this whole action generated for you for your next visit.
There's so many little things I want to unpick with this one because like it sounds a bit like, oh, you're just recording a voice memo, right? But actually, when you get under the covers and you see what's really happening, there's so much going on. So we're talking about, firstly, efficiency gains, right? So you're a sales rep in the store. You don't have time to be logging everything as notes, typing it all in, right? You want to be in and out as quick as possible. Taking a voice memo, super quick, super easy to do.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, from that voice memo, the AI is actually triggering follow-up actions and business processes automatically.
Exactly.
Right? So it's saying, all right, we need to do a follow-up visit. We need to check some merchandise. We need to place an order for this customer. And that's all happening just from the action of that rep taking a voice memo to log their notes. That, to me, is extremely powerful because you've gone from just, logging some notes for information to executing full business processes and kicking off like these long chains of workflows based on the context of what that person has said.
Exactly. I think we actually had some more fun as well when we were testing this one, of looking at, we're out of stock on the shelves for this product, and that triggering off a recommendation for a telesales agent if it was an indirect customer, telesales agent to call them, perhaps to speak to the distributor in case. But there's so many actions that can come from just what you're seeing as a field rep, that human side in the store, and triggering, like you said, all of these business processes and kind of background workflows.
I know we had a similar use case where, like you just kind of described, where you're taking a photo of a shelf and the image recognition is picking up your share of shelf. It's noticing there's a competitor in the corner. It's noticing your stock levels, and from that, again, it's triggering those follow-up actions, right? Which could be telesales agent, make a phone call, make sure they order some more stock, or there's a competitor there, let's launch a new promotion, using that promotion use case exactly that you were using before. So these all kind of link in together, they all kind of intermingle, but I think the thing they all have in common is they're super relevant and super useful for the consumer goods industry, and they're available with Aforza today out of the box. Like all of this wasn't kind of high concept stuff. This was all just using our standard product and just taking the latest and greatest in AI, whether it's ours or someone else's, and merging that into the data set that we've got. And that's what's coming out of it, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. And like you said, we've obviously used ChatGPT a lot because it's really readily available and accessible, but it could be any large language model. It could be an in-house large language model that perhaps one of our customers might have up their sleeves, and it can just be plugged in. It's really easy, available to use.
Amazing. Thanks, Callum. I know you spent a lot of time mulling over the different use cases here, and it was quite challenging to pick your top five.
I think we should do an AI month, perhaps. There's so many use cases.
We'll speak to marketing about that, but sounds like you volunteered, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool project to work on.
Good. Thank you for doing it. The last thing I want to mention then is, now we've obviously talked about the use cases, we've talked about how AI can help these businesses, but where do you start? And that's often the case with something which is AI can seem quite daunting when you get into it.
Yeah.
So we've developed a methodology. It's a kind of tried and tested methodology, crawl, walk, run, right? Instead of just jumping in and doing all 5 use cases or all 100 use cases from the start, let's find something really valuable to you as a customer and just start small and get your reps familiar with that, get your account managers, your promotion managers familiar with that. And as we gain value from that, as we start to get some real feedback from the field, then we increase the adoption, we increase the use cases, until before you know it, your entire business has just got AI flowing through it, and you're really taking advantage of it. And that's something that we're more than comfortable helping our customers with. And I know when you started, you haven't done a huge amount with AI, especially with consumer goods, right? And within a few weeks, you've built these fantastic use cases, and we're able to show them to the world, which we'll be doing shortly.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's some really cool stuff there that we're not covering in the week of AI, but perhaps we'll speak to marketing and release some more over the next couple months, I think.
Fantastic. So for everyone joining us here on this podcast, thank you for listening in. If you're interested in anything we've shown today, whether it's those use cases or just the technology in general, we are more than happy to talk more about it, to give you some hints, give you some guidance, and we'd love to get your feedback. So thank you for joining us today. Really looking forward to the Summer of AI week that we've got coming up ahead, and watch this space for more AI content. Thanks, Callum. Thanks, everyone, for listening in.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.